sorry, my internet. Yes, I'm so sorry. My internet is horrendous. I was trying to let everybody in. Yeah, I mean, it's really awful. So I think I'm okay for. I just ran back into the kitchen. So we'll see if this works. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for jumping on with us tonight. I need to confirm who is cell phone ending in 6761, please. Hey guys, can someone tell me who 6761 is?
Sorry, that's Ken.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Ken Johnson.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. I just want to check and make sure that everybody's on here that should be on here and nobody who shouldn't be on here isn't on here. Salome, if you don't mind just checking the names on the participant list. So we have Kelly, Dr. Kohls, of course, and right? And none of those people are from Voices You Need Us or P-Flag, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I hope not, because they're not invited here.
Yes, I know Cheryl is not.
Awesome. If you guys don't mind, if you guys can turn your cameras on. Ken, I know you're on via phone, which is fine, but if everyone else can turn their cameras on, it doesn't matter if you've had a long day. We've had a long day. If you still look homeless today, it's completely fine. Amazingly, we got a shower, but you know what I mean? It's totally fine. We're not recording right now either, but if everybody could just turn their cameras on just for a moment so we can see each other, that would be awesome. You see all your...
Sorry, I'm driving in the dark.
No worries. Yes, and where Kelly is, hi Sherry, awesome. Okay, thank you. Kelly is on Eastern time, so it's getting a little bit late there. I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us tonight. Obviously, this is very much we're responding to what's happening in the district and what's coming down for the district. It's interesting to be doing this event right now after the end of Title IX and the invasion of what we're going to see into all of our little girls' world and what's going to be happening and transpiring with P-Flag in your district, pushing hard for all of their nonsense. So it's interesting that we're dealing with this with Tony May and what's happened with him. Before I have Dr. Kohls speak with you guys, I wanted to give her the first part of this call because she is on Eastern time. Salome, I just want to thank you publicly. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and your firm stance that you've taken there in RE2, holding the line, making sure that nobody forgets all the work that's been done there and how important it is for us to keep putting the pressure on these elected officials. And my understanding really is, and what I've been told is if it wasn't for you, our school board members probably would not be holding the line, and even the strongest ones. They need support and they need accountability, and you've kept that going, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for motivating me.
Well, it was awesome. It was an awesome journey when we were there and everything that we were able to accomplish. And I, for one, don't want to let that end. We can't let it diminish because what's coming is so much worse than you all have already experienced. It's not going to get better. It's going to get much, much worse. And so if we don't show up now and get ahead of this and start defending our territory, you're going to be in for the shock of your life of what's coming down the pipe for every school district in Colorado. I want to turn over the time to Dr. Kelly Kohls. Moms for America has just been wonderful to me personally. And of course, as you all know, they're definitely in the fight to protect kids and to preserve the future of our country. So Dr. Kelly Kohls very graciously, when I asked her to come and to speak and show her not only her support, but the knowledge that she has about how this stuff works, how school boards work, we want an understanding within the community. And to be quite honest with you, our school board members still don't really understand how things work. And I'm saying that with a lot of grace. It's not a condemning thing. It's just they are not being educated by the proper sources. And we did have, I will preface this to say, we've talked with 3 of the school board members now, and it's very clear to me that there needs to be real education brought in even for them. And they don't have the true education they need. They don't have the true support that they need from a legal standing. And so Dr. Kelly Kohls agreeing to come and bring her expertise to us. She has already been in a very difficult state. She was in Ohio. She worked with all Democrats and was able to do what we need to have happen in RE2. She was able to do there, being a singular conservative voice in that school board, and now has gone on to create a conservative school board association, which she's going to talk a little bit about too, that we definitely want our school board members to be a part of. And so with that, Dr. Kohls, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you for all the work. She has been working tirelessly across the country with school board members. Dr. Kohls.
Thank you, Sherronna. And do we have any school board members on the call tonight?
I don't believe there will be. I don't think there are any school board members on the call tonight. We have an RSU parent board member, and then the rest will be they're the most supportive people in the district.
Okay, and they're in Tony's district that are on the call?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. Because what I do also, Sherronna, is educate and train the community members on how to push the school board to do the right thing. So yes, we need strong school board members. Yes, we have to support them and shore them up and tell them this is what you need to do. What I'm finding across the country is we often elect some pretty darn good people, but they quickly turn into feckless bobbleheads. And there's several reasons for that. They get bullied. They get scared because they're told by this organization that supposedly trains them. Actually, they serve Kool-Aid at their training sessions. Tell your school board members don't drink their Kool-Aid. Drink tea. What they find is that they're told that they must be cheerleaders for their district. They're told that do whatever the superintendent and treasurer tell you to do. You hired them, now you have to trust them. They're told don't walk through the buildings, it makes people nervous. They're told the whole weekend full of nonsense. And they believe it. When I was sitting there after being sworn in, I whisked away to a weekend with the Ohio School Board Association. I was new to all this. I'm just a scientist. I'm just a mom. I'm just a wife, and I had my property, and like everybody else. They have other lives. This thing isn't supposed to be, the school board position isn't supposed to be a full-time job. The paycheck tells them that, because usually it's either for free or very minimal pay. And so the paycheck and, just how people see it, school board members think, I'm not really supposed to do very much here. So, okay, the trainers are going to tell me what my job is. The problem is that the trainers, they're board members, but their job is just to be a cheerleader for their district, to do what they are told to do and not rock the boat. There were articles written about me from the Ohio School Board Association, and they didn't say my name, but they said, lone wolves do no good. That's actually false, because by the end of my term, I had, everybody was voting with me. It was a 5-0 board my way, because they were waiting for me to give them the rest of the evidence. And I usually would do my homework. I didn't like going in and voting for something if I didn't know about it. And so many things that school board members need to know. It is absolutely overwhelming. So they come into a board meeting. I want you community members to know this. They come into a meeting, and they're limited by the law. They have to stick to the law. They're told there's laws about everything, and that's actually freaking false. They're told by legal counsel, their superintendent, other admin, other people that, there's a law on that, we can't do that. And when I would look into it, I would tell the board members, actually, that's not true. Well, school board members to ask this question that, there's a law? Great. I want to get to know that law better. Can you send me a link to that law? And lo and behold, many, many times, nobody can send them a link to that law because it doesn't exist. They were doing that to essentially shut down the conversation with the board member. So I have to get in here and train these board members on what their rights and their responsibilities are, and have to narrate message that back to the community. Tony is simply one of the good school board members. I know he's a good school board member. I don't know the details, but I'm positive he's a good school board member because they want to take him out. And it's one of the ways that they bully. They'll take you out. But guys, this is a two-way street. I'm going to tell the community members, we need to start this petition process for a bunch of their people. Same thing. And you have to have, I guess, a clear conscience. Will you go to somebody and tell the lies that they do? Will you do that? Or can you simply tell them that this school board member does not represent the community, does not represent the children, doesn't care about the children's academic progress? Those are the kinds of things that are true. You don't have to lie. Those are true. So if you've got a school board member you want to recall, I say they opened the door. We didn't. We must start recalling their people. And then they might learn that this is a bad idea. Let's not do it anymore. It must stop. And us complaining about it and just whining about it isn't going to do a darn thing to them. They're driven. And we must do the same thing back. I've prayed to God many times. Is this what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to use their tools? And the answer to me was yes, Kelly. That's why I put you where I did. So I just want to know, are there questions? Because I do want to get together, Sherronna, with the community supporters. The board members don't need to be in the room, but I'm going to tell you my secrets for what gets boards to move. Now, I did talk to one of your board members, Tony's, and I might have been the board president. Is it a female?
No, maybe you talked to Farron. Fallon, excuse me. I'm not sure which one you want to talk to.
Me either. She said her name real fast, and I just started talking real fast.
Yeah.
But I was telling her that, and she was very knowledgeable, very smart woman, I gathered from our conversation. But I said, you guys need to pass your very first meeting, call a special meeting, and pass that you will reimburse Tony for any of his out-of-pocket expenses, legal fees, expenses. Just go ahead and vote for that to be done. Also vote to hire a new board legal counsel to cover anything he needs in the future, because everything he's doing is within his boundaries of his job. He is indemnified. That's a state law. He is indemnified. That means you guys have to pay for his legal costs. No one else does. The district does. And then we write some PR statements, and they've not contacted me to do this for them, so maybe they've got somebody else. But you write PR statements about why this is such a tragedy that some people feel compelled to lie to the citizens of your great community to deceive them into thinking that Tony is not a good school board member, when what he's doing is 100% his rights and his responsibilities to represent the community and the great students that attend that district. And it's a shame that they're going to cost the district money in a defense that shouldn't have to happen. So what you do is you make yourself look like a victim. We're going to make Tony look like a victim. We're going to clearly point out the bullies. And then we need the heroes. The heroes are the people who are going to rescue this horrific procedure that's going on. And it is a deceitful, by an angry mob. And they're lying to citizens, and that's what a shame that is. So in every scenario, guys, there's a victim, bully, hero. And that's what we have to play in this one. Now, I don't know if you have Facebook pages and or websites, but I recommend that you start Facebook pages or community pages where you post this kind of stuff every day. And then you do have to make yourself look a little bigger than maybe you are. And you might go on Facebook and congratulate the 50 new people that came to visit your site last week or your posts. We're reading your post now. You want to look humongous. You post articles and op-eds, everything you can do to get the media. Two things. Move community members and school board members to do the right thing. And that's headlines and litigation. So they know that. The other side uses that clearly. They use the media. We have plenty of citizen journalists, and that would be you guys and some of your friends. So you start a Facebook page that is your school district's name, and then right after the school district's name is the truth or exposed. And you just start posting like crazy. Then you have little business cards or little index cards, 3.5 by 5, business cards that you write up, you have printed up, and you leave them everywhere so that everybody goes to read your words, your information. What did Tony do that was so bad? I'm just asking you guys, what did he do that they're claiming is so bad?
So, interesting, last night, my husband spent some time talking with the school board president and asked that exact question. What is going on that this is happening? They literally said he snapped at a teacher at a school board meeting, and what was the other thing?
And he sent out some...
Oh, he sent out some emails that were too strong, that were Kohls. They felt were too strong. No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So the citizens thought that he was a bully, right?
Yes. Yes.
Free speech.
Well, yes, because he was bringing forward the birthright, but actually, Salome, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's a bully. That's what they're saying, that he's a big bully and he keeps bullying the parents, which I was just there at the school board meeting right now. I left, and there's people already complaining about your video, Sherronna, already saying.
I love to see it.
Yep. So
good.
Got that information, and they're already, against it. Everything you're saying. So
good. Well, they're showing us we're showing us who they are.
To get him suspended.
Okay. All they have to do is convene a special meeting. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
But they could have done it at tonight's meeting. I just told them to just vote for his reimbursement. It's that simple. You have board majority. You have 3 of 5. Done deal.
Yeah.
There's no discussion necessary. Just vote for it and pay his fees and they can always say, because it's a part of our state law. Our elected representatives, and you call them officials because that's something people typically do, but I call them representative. Our elected representatives are indemnified, meaning that if they do something that's within the scope of their position that somebody else doesn't like or sues them for, the school district has to cover the legal cost to that.
Yeah, so that everybody on this call should know, Kelly, just so you know, or Dr. Kohls, just so you know, Neil told Britton directly that he absolutely has. I talked to Brad Miller, who is one of the primary attorneys in the state of Colorado that works on these issues, defended Andrea Heights during her recall. He said, yes, they absolutely can vote to cover all his fees, and yes, they can vote to hire the PR firm, and they should have done it already, to your point, Dr. Kohls. Right. They should have done it already. When Neil spoke with Britton said, I don't think we can do that, to which Neil said, we already talked to the attorney. They haven't cared. He also said, which I thought was telling, and I want all of you to know, he said, I haven't heard anything hardly from the public at all. So they're not putting pressure on us to do anything. So I think we're fine. Is basically what he was saying. And to his point, we already know that if we don't put pressure on these people, they don't do anything. They get comfortable with what they're doing. They're putting out, congratulations to the superintendent. They're not thinking about what's coming down the pipe. They're not on the offense. They just want to get along. And that, to your point, Kelly, that's exactly what's going on here. And that's not right. Tony has done exactly what he said he was going to do. He's doing what he wanted him to do, was to clean house and provide real education for a completely failing district. Completely failing, and they still are.
Yeah. They'll only move away from the pressure. So you guys have to apply the pressure. This rally is going to do that, but also keep call me. They should be in all. Can you see me, Sherronna? Every board member that you guys know should be calling me and saying, hey, what do we do? What do we do? If they're unsure about it, I can tell them exactly what they need to do. I was on 2 school boards. I've been doing this for 12 years. They need to trust somebody. And it's not the organization that they've been told by their superintendent or other administrators to trust. That's the opposite of what they should be doing. Mm-hmm. It's just very frustrating when they won't even make the calls. And I've been in their seat. I know how hard this is. I know. But to sit there and just take this and let Tony take it, we lose. We all lose. We're never going to win this again. We either stop this crap right now, or it's going to continue with every single board member that does the right thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And every board member that won't pass the by. So Dr. Kohls is going to be coming on May 3rd. She's our featured speaker that evening, going to be talking about the legalities, giving permission, and really laying down the truth of what's happening here, why we need to stop it. Again, you're all over the country, so you know what's coming down the pipe. We're in the land of the most progressive, insane pedophile governor in the whole world. So he's very excited about having all this access to our kids and the end of Title IX. So you guys, this couldn't have come at a better time. It may seem like we're a little bit behind, and I think that that's true. I really didn't know about anything until I started receiving articles about Tony's recall. I didn't think this could seriously happen. I've seen the conspiracy with the Mesa County Treasurer and Voices Unidas and P-Flag to draw out the actual petition that was filed and make it legal, even though it wasn't legal. They're working in tandem. They're working together. The Mesa County Treasurer is a Democrat. She runs as a Republican because, as she told me, she would never get elected as a Republican. That's Sheila Reiner. So I know who she is. I have gone toe-to-toe with that chick, and she's just very, very bad, very bad. So she was happy to step in for your county clerk, and I might just add this also. Your county clerk needs to be held accountable. She acquiesced her authority to a Mesa County Treasurer who has nothing to do with Garfield County to verify that petition, which was illegal. That petition needed to be served by day 60. They did it at day 63. It should have been disqualified, immediately. But your elected clerk and recorder there chose to give up her authority and give it over to Sheila Reiner. Has anyone talked to Jackie about why she did that? Has anybody asked why the duly elected clerk and recorder, who is in charge of this recall, gave up authority and turned it over to a Mesa County treasurer? Has anybody asked her and held her accountable? My understanding is her son has problems with little children, and so she's caught up in that and felt she was burdened or whatever. That is no excuse. She needs to resign then as clerk and recorder. And you guys need to elect somebody who will do the job properly. To give it over to another county in a position, I can't believe that we would let this go also. Tony has obviously appealed the decision, and so that is so good because it puts off the recall election until mid-June. But you all should be asking the clerk and recorder, why did you do this? This is your job, not the Mesa County treasurer. And I actually spoke with the county commissioners in Mesa County, and they can't figure out how this happened either. And they said, you all should be holding that clerk accountable. So it has to happen, you guys. You have to be that person who says, no, this is not how it's going to be done. No, we're going to follow the law. Colorado statute says this. And in Tony's 100% defense, he's done literally everything that we asked. But maybe you can go out and remind the people there in our community that they were willing to arrest 5-year-olds for not putting masks on to walk into the school. I watched as the administrators, Heather Brumley and the one, Robin, I can't remember her name, the other administrators stood there outside that door with their arms crossed, asking the police to intervene on a 5-year-old trying to enter into her classroom with no mask on. I watched them do that. They've never apologized. They sold out our kids for ESSER funds. ESSER funds are also attached to, guess what it is, diversity, equity, inclusion, social emotional learning, the ongoing quizzes and questionnaires they continue to give your children. I was there at the middle school when we called the principal in for giving these, what were those called? What are those called? The quiz, they're not quizzes, what are those called? Where you fill them out. They're asking about your home life. They're asking these kids about how their parents act. Survey. Thank you. I was there when we called her out for giving an illegal survey, and nothing happened to her. We took that information to Heather Brumley. She did this much. She did nothing, and she continues to do nothing. This community is not going to survive if literally we don't step up and clean house. The legal team was supposed to be deposed and replaced. Your attorney there for your district was supposed to be replaced immediately upon this new board being sworn in, and it was not. And that's also why Tony is in this mess. You have the biggest idiot for an attorney for that district. I apologize if you guys like him. I really don't care. I think he's an idiot. He is not doing his job. He's part of the Go Along, Get Along gang, and that was not supposed to happen. He was supposed to be fired, and they were supposed to hire a new one. That was our demands as parents when we got these guys elected. We got them elected, all of us. And now we need to hold them to the fire. They have not fulfilled their duty, and they need to do it now. We know for a fact they can call together that special meeting, and the first thing they can do to earn back some trust from the public is to make sure Tony May's legal fees are covered. They hire a PR team immediately, and they start getting vocal and active in supporting and defending him. And knock it off with the liberal talk from Ann Gettler, who, by the way, is going to put up her boyfriend as a candidate against Tony May. Do you guys all know this? She's putting her boyfriend up to run against Tony May, who's a woke, bizarre dude. Ann Gettler is in all of this as well. And we fired her. We cannot let them take this district back. I can't even get into, and we're going to save some of this for May 3rd, the policies of that district that still have not been changed. The sexual assaults that have been allowed to go on from teacher to student and student to student without intervention, without any kind of disciplinary action, without reporting to the public, is also a crime. And that should not be going on, but it's going to continue as long as you have people like Heather in your administration and you don't let this board do their job. Tony knew what his job was because we, the parents, told him. Salome, myself, Barron, Brooklyn, all of these parents, the hundreds of parents that gathered together, you guys all were there. We rallied and said no more. Do we mean it? Because right now, Tony is about to be taken out, and as soon as they're able to do it to him, Britton's next. And then Fallon. And then Shane. Absolutely.
They're gonna keep doing this. We cannot let them get away with this. We need to make them look like the villains that they are. The radical, left-wing, grooming, call them everything they are, guys. Don't hold back. We're just too stinking nice. And that's got to stop. We're fighting for it. Could be God or Lucifer. You take your pick. But if you're going to fight for God, you're going to fight for these children to not be so abused within their public schools. Tony was one of the few that actually spoke up. And yes, maybe he raised his voice. Good for him. Good for what we all need to do. Start being radical moms and dads. That's what I'm saying. Start being those radicals that love their children. And they can't, we're right. We can always talk with a smile, right? Even though we're mad at tech, we can talk with a smile because we're right. They're wrong. They're evil. We're not. It's that simple.
So our call to action from the call tonight, and I definitely want to hear from you guys too, if there's anything you want to add. Just a reminder, get as many people to that event on May 3rd. It doesn't cost a thing, although we're definitely going to be asking for donations. I have some people in the area that I'm asking for contributions for to start helping and support Tony, and honestly to put together a war chest. The second thing is the RE2 Parent Board. The RE2 Parent Board was founded by my husband and I, and Jeff and Amy Powers. And many of you brought money there, and we did everything we said we were going to do. What we never said we were going to do was go along with nonsense. Tony needs that financial support, and that money should be going to him right now to cover his legal fees. And the fact that it's not, because some people agree that Tony should be recalled, that's not leadership. That's not why we founded the board. The board was to defend those that we put there, that we helped to get there, against the radical left. Literally, we have a communist organization, Boys Did You Need It? And we have P-Flag, Parents and Friends for Lesbians and Gays, led by a wannabe tranny man who just impregnated his girlfriend who just had a baby, and he wears fake breasts to your school board meeting. These people are lunatics. That's who's trying to take out Tony. And you're telling me we're not going to use what we built to support him? That has to be done now, too. That board, you've got to connect with them and tell them no. That money is to support the board members that we put in office. And Tony is the leader. He was the head of the pack. And then finally, we're talking about on Saturday, I don't know if this is going to come to pass tonight. I definitely would need your guys' support to do it. It is obviously Cinco de Mayo, and there's going to be tons of people downtown on that main street. We would love to be holding signs out there in support of Tony, getting as many people out there as we possibly can. Erin Lee, with the Parents Initiative, and as you guys might all remember, Art Club, the film, her daughter was obviously groomed at school in an art club and led to almost the suicides of 4 little girls after just a 2-hour class. This is the impact of the left and what they're doing to our kids in Colorado. She has agreed to come and speak that on Saturday at noon at the park across from where they do the big event there. I want to make sure that it's worth her time to come. And so I just need your guys' feedback on that. If you will pull people together for just a sign waving and kind of a gathering together in the park that next morning, that next afternoon at 12. So it may not be the right time, and I'm totally fine with that. May 3rd is going to be a lot to pull together right now in the midst of everything else going on. But I do want to have your feedback on that. So please tell me what you guys think. Erin is a parent who knows she would be there on the 3rd, but she can't. She already committed herself to another event where she's speaking with parents there too. So please share out the information. Please encourage the RE2 parent board to get behind Tony. And 3, let me know what you guys think about a follow-up sign waving for Tony at Cinco de Mayo the next day. All right. Anybody else care to ask any questions or have any concerns or anything they want to address? All right. Then we have our marching orders. So, anything I missed or anything? Kelly, Dr. Kohls, we're so honored to have you. Thank you so much for coming, and Moms for America for their support for this, and for Tony and ones like him. I mean, you're coming on your own dime, and I just appreciate you so much from Moms for America and their sponsorship. So thank you so much.
Thank you. No, it's my pleasure.
I know.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know it is frustrating because I am the only mom that shows up for the board meeting, and now I have somebody that I invite, Sarah, and she's always there supporting me. And what they're trying to do, I've been getting my texts that they're going to report me to the FBI. I've been getting messages. I got a complaint against, I have a complaint that they filed against me for helping Tony get funding for his attorney's fees. So they filed a complaint through the Secretary of State. And I had an investigator call me, and he said, how many people are in your group? He says that the complaint is for the Garfield County Patriots. And I'm like, nobody's in my group. I'm the only one. And he's like, well, the complaint is for the Garfield County Patriots and Salome Gonzalez. And I told him, Garfield County Patriots is a Facebook account. There's nobody that's supporting me. So they're just trying to stop me from doing what I'm doing. And that's what they're trying to do.
But there's nothing you're doing is at the Board of Secretary of State. So he would only have anything to do with election laws, pretty much. That's about it.
Colorado Secretary of State, that's who the other group complained against me, that I was receiving funding for Tony's attorney's fees.
But even if you were, so
it was an investigator that called me that wanted to know how much money I received, and I just told him $225.
But why is that their business? Why would they even ask that question? I'd like to know what law you violated. Why would they ask that question? So can you call them back and ask that? Whoever the investigator was, just say, so why do you feel compelled to ask that question? What is the violation? What would be a violation of me collecting funds for somebody's legal fees? It's like a GoFundMe. So what would you be violating?
I asked him when he called me, I said, what was that something wrong that I was doing? And he said, no, we just need to investigate because there's a complaint against you receiving money for Tony May's attorney's fees. So it was the Coalition for Responsibility Education in RE2. Those are the ones that put the complaint against me.
I would love, so you deserve a copy of the complaint. Did they send you one?
Kelly, I forwarded this to you. You've got it in your email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to look at it. Interesting.
It literally looks like that thing. It's a little scare tactic. She can raise money for whatever and whoever she wants to.
Absolutely.
So, no, it's a scare tactic. I was laughing.
Be involved in this fraud? Because I think they're acting fraudulently. I want to shoot a bullet over their bow.
Good point. I can also send it on to Tom Bjorklund. He's the secretary for the state GOP. If they want to do this, then I guess we'll just go hard.
we need to bully back, Sherronna. You know, you're all about it. But we need to bully back and say, okay, now it's our time to inquire. We're doing an investigation on the Secretary of State's office. Why are you bullying citizens? What is the infraction you might claim that your investigation is under? I just want to know. I'm doing an investigation, and I'm a citizen reporter. So why don't you answer my battery of questions, bully?
Right. Yeah, I really do think, so the Secretary of State has a lot vested in the Western Slope. This is where we've had all the election crime stuff that we've been doing. So there is a lot there. I mean, they want this area. I mean, I'm just wondering what they paid this Ashley Stahl guy to do. Is that the name, Ashley Stahl? Ashley Stahl, the guy that pretends to be a girl. I'm just wondering, like, what was his, what has he been given, because it's just absolutely bizarre. He's obviously not it's really bad. He's obviously not a woman. But he also is the one who brought the radical sex education to our tiny little parachute community, RE16, and they adopted it because these people just fight and bully their way in. And so, just as we're talking about the future and what's coming, there is no protection over your girls anymore, you guys. You have to understand that. Any boy parading as a girl will be in your sports, in your bathrooms, in your locker rooms, and it's already happening. If you've not been watching Newcastle, Coleridge has had a male athlete running with the girls for quite some time. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that already. Nobody's done anything about it. Nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. But it's going to be on a whole scale now, especially with this Ashley Strong, a wannabe tranny, parading around with a flag, thinking that he's got flags. If you let him fly, then I think he's got it, and you're going to see a whole lot more bizarre stuff going on. So we're not going to be able to keep these people out. Mm-hmm.
The school board can stop this. A school board can write a policy. And here's the truth. So Biden believes that his change in Title IX, or his suggested change, which is totally unconstitutional, he can't change Title IX by himself. Executive orders cannot change congressional laws. Okay, so let's just go forward. Even if a district was found to violate some federal law, then the repercussion is supposed to be that they lose federal funding. That's the repercussion. That's it. And federal funding is a very, very small percent of a district's operating revenue. So, and get this, if they have never removed federal funds. They have threatened plenty of times for school districts violating some kind of federal act, but they have never, ever in the history of the federal government removed funding from any school, because that school can play that propaganda game. And I would love a school district to do it, to say, no, boys stay where boys are supposed to go, girls go where girls are supposed to go. We will not mix the two. And they can do that. They can absolutely do that. If the federal government or Biden's thugs wanted to, they could come in and take the, $500,000. It's not a lot of money. I'm sure the community would cover it anyway if they put a levy on the ballot or something. But even so, they've never, ever done it before. And if the school district says, we're going to keep our children safe, that's more important than keeping the Biden administration happy.
Yes.
It's that simple, guys. The propaganda machine is ours. Then you show children sitting at a desk with a leaking roof or with their coat on because they're so cold their school district can't afford the heat because Biden took the money that they're supposed to heat their buildings with. We can play that propaganda machine, and we can beat them at this. That's what we need to do.
All right. Well, May 3rd. So anybody else have any questions or concerns or comments?
Everybody else.
Okay, is everybody that's on this call, you guys already on the RE2 group on Telegram? If not, please, I think someone's trying to talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you very much. This is inspirational.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Oh, wait, that's not Ken.
Yep, that's Ken.
Sorry, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so please make sure you're on the RE2 Telegram page. And Salome really is, in the know on everything that's going on, and we're here to support you guys.
RE2 Accountability Group.
All right, the Telegram page is called RE2 Accountability Group, and that's where we need everybody to be on for quick information. And I'm so sorry, we've been a little bit behind. We're leaving out of country tomorrow, and we'll be gone for a few days, but we are totally on board. We're here in Colorado for several months. We're going to be here through the appeals for Tony. And you guys, I just know that if you don't take a stand now, there's not going to be anything left. There's just not. Your DAC is full of a bunch of communists. Your the District Accountability Group is a communist. They're communists. It's just what they are. And they use these people to keep doing their nonsense, to have some kind of power over the students there. I never imagined in my life I would see a bunch of, Hispanic children who are first generation by their parents coming to this country, standing up there acting like victims with Antifa and BLM. I could not believe that happened in our town of Rifle, Colorado. But what I can tell you is that some of these people from DAC, Katie Hayes, there are just so many of them that we've given authority to because we're not there. We relinquish it because we don't even show up. Like Salome's saying, she's there, her and Sarah there in person at every school board meeting. You have to show up in person. It just has to be like going to church. It's only, every 2 weeks or once a month? It's got to be a priority, guys. You've got to be there in person, or it's not going. They're going to think that they have the majority. Salome, how many people were there from this RE2 parent, for education group that's recalling Tony? How many people were there tonight from them?
We were 5 of us were there.
5 of you guys. How many were there from the other side?
4.
Oh, so we outnumbered them tonight. Well, that's good. That's good.
Another thing that's very concerning in the agenda today for the RE2 school board, they had Hannah Arauzo, which is the wife of Stephen Arauzo that's running against Mike Sampson. They want her to be in the DAC group.
Yeah, DAC's got to get taken back by normal people, not communists. You guys have to take DAC over. Katie Hayes has got to go.
Katie Hayes is no longer there.
She's gone.
Yes.
Wait, so now Bree is the next one, right? Or what is her name again?
Hannah Arauzo.
Yeah.
Hannah Arauzo is the one that they're going to vote in, that she was recommended to be part of that group, which is
okay.
Yes, that's not
another
good.
communist. Yes. Mm-hmm. They really are literally communists. I'm not saying this to be just rude and flamboyant and all that. I was there for the county fish races. I've been there through all the nonsense with this organization, these 527s that are receiving Kohls money. They're receiving other 527. Just a big scam to take over this area, guys. I don't know what to say. And you either have to stand up and be a part, get on the board, start taking them over, or they're going to win by default. Like literally, we're losing because we're not participating. So you got to throw your hat in the ring. You got to take your crowd with you, and we got to take over these boards. When I was there, John Arledge, the previous principal at Rifle High School, who I absolutely was almost 100% on board. We had a few little differences, but mostly he was there to see kids be educated and take personal responsibility for their lives. And he asked many times for me to get on DAC and start helping with that, and I never did. I went to 2 meetings. They were horrible and unbearable because of Katie Hayes, and I was like, I'm not spending my time this way. I can do something that's more effective. But looking back in hindsight, we needed to take over DAC, and that needs to happen. So that's going to be another thing, is we just implement and get back involved and make sure that we're equipping you guys with what you need to save this district. 85% of the kids are still at these public schools. So we can't leave them behind. It's not an option. It's not like we can just run off in the sunset. We need to do what's right now because these people are going to be running our country. They're growing up alongside your children, and they're being taught to hate this country. They're being hypersexualized in grooms. Even now, I had my kids in that district. I know exactly what goes on. And unfortunately, you're in such shock at what happens there that you can't deal with it at the moment. And by the time you wake up, do anything about it. So a lot of the deal that we have is because of honestly, all of it that we have is because of what went on with our own kids and things we cannot get back. Because I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do. I almost felt like I was like being gaslit, that what I was saying denying what's happening. They were telling me it isn't really happening. And yet I had the evidence. I mean, I had my kids. I knew what was happening. And I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about school policy as it stands now. So the 3rd is going to be incredible. We're going to give everything we have to you guys. I need you to bring the people. I need you to get everybody there. We need everybody standing up for what's right, re-engaged. We need to fight for this community and stop handing it over to these communists who think that they have it. They think they own it. They cannot have this district. They can't have this district. So if you guys are in agreement, I need you to send out the invitation that you received. It's on our Facebook page. I believe it's on the Telegram channel now also. Please download that. Just save it to your phone and send it out to everyone. And we're going to support Tony. We're going to support Sami. We're going to support the RE2 parent board. And we're going to support real education in the RE2 school district. And we're going to empower the school board. But we have to get them, we got to get them on the right track now before it's too late. They don't understand what's coming down the pipe. And we will talk more about that on May 3rd. So I appreciate you guys and your time tonight. I don't want to take any more from you. And Kelly, it's super late where you are. Any last questions? And we'll wrap it up. All right, then. All right, God bless you guys. And we will see you on the 3rd with tons of people with you. Bring the students. Our students also, they need to see this and hear all of this also. There's going to be a lot of accountability that night, guys. We're going to tell you the truth about the authority that the school board has, and they're not utilizing it. And we need to get behind them so they will utilize it. Dr. Kohls is going to bring just an amazing amount of truth to us. So thank you guys for being on here with us tonight, and we will see you on the 3rd. Can't wait. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Dr. Kohls.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Goodbye.